Question answers? I'm going to ask you generally from everywhere, not only topics we studied. Ivanhoe by Walter Scott is set in which country? Which place in the UK? Is it Scotland, Ireland, England, Wales?
Scotland. Scotland.
Most of Walter Scott's novels were set in Scotland, but Ivanhoe and Kenilworth are set in England. Okay? Ivanhoe and Kenilworth are set in England. Will you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who wrote Lambeth books, prophetic books? Lambeth is a place he lived in, one early romantic poet. He wrote prophetic books like America, a prophecy, Europe, a prophecy. Who?
It's William Blake, ma'am.
Correct, William Blake. William Blake. Complaints or night thoughts. This is a part of which movement? Complaint or night thoughts is a part of which movement? Part of the same movement we have Thanatopsis. You know that. Thanatopsis.
American.
Graveyard poetry. Thanatopsis is by William Cullen Bryant. Complaint or Night Thoughts is by Edward Young. Edward Young. Do you know who wrote the Gothic romance Things as They Are or The Adventures of Caleb Williams?
William Godwin.
William Godwin is correct. Identify this book. Okay? This was written by an English American writer. He asserted that people have the right to revolt against the despotic interests of the monarchy. This book was very popular. It sold 50,000 copies. And this author was sentenced to death in his absence for writing this book. Who is the author? You know, I taught you.
Uncle Tom.
What? Once more. English American author. He went to America because somebody encouraged him to go to America. He said that people have the right to revolt against...
Thomas Paine, ma'am. Thomas Paine, ma'am.
Which book? Correct. Thomas Paine. Which book?
Age of Reason. Age of...
No, that's a theological book. Rights of Man. That is about revolution. Rights of Man.
1719.
Yeah. Identify this person. He was the son of a prime minister. He started a press at his house called Strawberry Hill. He was very close friends with Thomas Gray. He was the pioneer of a genre. Friends with Thomas Gray, son of a prime minister.
Thomas Eliot.
He started a press at Strawberry Hill. Horace Walpole started Castle of Otranto, by which pioneered Gothic novel. Then he was friends with Thomas Gray. He was the son of Robert Walpole, Prime Minister. He started a press at Strawberry Hill, which was the first published novel by Jane Austen.
Sense and Sensibility.
Sense and Sensibility is correct. Who wrote the Newgate novel Catherine? Why is everybody else silent? Who wrote the Newgate novel called Catherine? That person wrote a novel without a hero? That person wrote a novel without a hero. No idea? Thackeray wrote Catherine. His Vanity Fair is subtitled A Novel Without a Hero. Don't you know that? Which poem by Robert Browning is about old age? It begins like this. Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be.
Rabbi Ben Ezra.
Rabbi Ben Ezra is correct. Which is the first published novel by D.H. Lawrence? I asked you one day.
The White Peacock.
The White Peacock is correct. Which is the first novel by Virginia Woolf?
On Voyage Out.
The Voyage Out. It was originally titled Melimbrosia. The Voyage Out or Melimbrosia. Who used the pen name The Hermit of Marlowe? Who used the pen name The Hermit of Marlowe? P.B. Shelley. P.B. Shelley. Which group was John Maynard Keynes, the economist, part of? Bloomsbury Group. John Maynard Keynes was part of the Bloomsbury Group. Madame Sosostris is a character in which book? Originally in which book? Before the Wasteland. Chrome Yellow by Aldous Huxley. The Heart of the Matter and The End of the Affair are part of which group of novels?
Trilogy by
Huh?
Trilogy by Graham.
Not trilogy. There are 4 novels. They are called Catholic novels. Which are the Catholic novels? Brighton Rock.
Brighton. Power and the Glory. Heart of the and Endgame.
Yeah. Brighton Rock, Power and the Glory, Heart of the Matter and The End of the Affair. These are by Graham Greene, and Evelyn Waugh also wrote Catholic novels. Then, tell me, Antoinette Causeway. Antoinette Causeway is the protagonist of which novel? Antoinette Causeway. Wide Sargasso Sea. Remember the prequel to Jane Eyre?
Yes.
Which famous Gothic novel has allusions to Paradise Lost, Tintin Abbey, and was published in the year 1818? Famous Gothic novel published in the year 1818. It alludes to Paradise Lost, Tintin Abbey.
Frankenstein.
Correct. Frankenstein. What is the subtitle of the prelude?
The growth of the poets.
Growth of a poet's mind. Growth of a poet's mind. Which ruler is associated with the term Pax Romana?
Caesar, ma'am.
Augustus Caesar is correct. Which is the last poem by P.B. Shelley, which is also a dream allegory? Last poem by P.B. Shelley, which is a dream allegory. The Triumph of Life. The Triumph of Life. Who wrote the novel News from Nowhere, which is also a dream allegory? News from Nowhere is by William Morris, Pre-Raphaelite. Then, what is the subtitle of John Keats's The Fall of Hyperion? The Fall of Hyperion, a dream. The Fall of Hyperion, a dream. Will you remember? In which year did Shakespeare die?
1616.
1616. Who is the author of Shakespeare's Imagery book? Caroline Spurgeon. Caroline Spurgeon. Imogen and Posthumus Leonatus are characters in Shakespearean play. Imogen and Posthumus Leonatus are characters in the Shakespearean play. Cymbeline. Who is the author of Prospero and Caliban, The Psychology of Colonization? Prospero and Caliban, The Psychology of Colonization. Huh?
Shakespeare.
Octave Menoni, M-E-N-N-O-N-I. Octave Menoni. Who speaks the epilogue in Pericles?
Gower.
John Gower.
Gower.
What is the dedication to Chaucer's Troilus and Cresside? What is the dedication to Chaucer's Troilus and Cresside? Oh, Moral Gower. Who wrote the controversial play The Isle of Dogs?
Ben Jonson.
Correct, Ben Jonson. Who among the metaphysical poets wrote Baroque diction, Baroque poetry? Who among the metaphysicals wrote Baroque poetry? Richard Crashaw. It was Richard Crashaw. Who among the Jacobean playwrights is famous for his translation of Homer?
George Chapman.
George Chapman. In which year was Milton born?
$16.08.
1608. Which of Milton's poems was presented at Ludlow Castle on Michaelmas night? Comus. Comus. And calm of mind all passion spent. That is the last line of. And calm of mind all passion spent. That is the last line of
Milton.
Samson Agonistes. Who is the author of the poem The Garden?
Andrew Marvell.
Andrew Marvell. Oh, could I flow like thee and make thy stream my great example as it is my theme. These are lines from
Cooper's Hill.
Cooper's Hill, correct. Cooper's Hill. Samuel Butler wrote Hudibras. The name Hudibras was taken from? Where did he take the name Hudibras from?
Fairy Queen.
Fairy Queen is correct. In which play by Shakespeare is a character disguising as Tom o' Bedlam?
Edgar and King Lear.
Edgar and King Lear. What is the subtitle of Othello?
Moor.
The Moor of Venice. The Moor of Venice. The brothers Orlando and Oliver are characters in? The brothers Orlando and Oliver are characters in?
As You Like It.
As You Like It. What is the subtitle of 12th Night?
What You Will.
What You Will. One of the important sources of Othello is Hecatomythi. Who is the author? Hecatomythi by Cinthio. Benedict and Beatrice are warring lovers in which book? Benedict and Beatrice. What? Much Ado About Nothing. It is said about Shakespeare, A.C. Bradley said about Shakespeare that character is destiny. The phrase character is destiny originated in the pre-Socratic philosopher dash. Heraclitus. Who is supposed to have written the original of Hamlet called Ur Hamlet? Kidd. Thomas Kidd. What is the subtitle of Spanish tragedy?
Hieronymo is Mad Again.
Hieronymo is Mad Again. Hieronymo is Mad Again. Do you know who wrote Scourge of Villainy that was banned during the bishop's ban? Burnt during the bishop's ban.
John Marston.
John Marston. In which year was Gunpowder Plot?
1605.
1605. Who translated Plutarch's Lives? Parallel Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans. That is the full title. Who translated it? Thomas North. Who is the author of Pamphylia to Amphilanthus? Lady Mary Roth. She was the niece of Philip Sidney and Mary Herbert. Remember? Who wrote Musophilus and the Queen's Arcadia? Musophilus and the Queen's Arcadia. Who is the author of Book of Airs?
Thomas Campion.
Correct. Thomas Campion. Who is the author of the poem Eve's Apology in Defense of Women?
Emilia Lanier.
Emilia Lanier is correct. Which is the major book by Giles Fletcher?
Christ's Victory and Triumph.
Christ's Victory and Triumph. And who is the author of Microcosmography, the character book? Microcosmography. John Earl. Who was James the Sixth of Scotland?
James the First.
James the First of England. Yes.
James the First.
In which book do you have the discussion of Solomon's house?
New Atlantis.
The New Atlantis. Who is the author of Novum Organum and the Advancement of Learning?
Francis.
Huh?
Francis Bacon.
Francis Bacon. Who is the author of The Ruins of Time and the Tears of the Muses?
Spencer.
Spencer. In which year was the Shepherd's Calendar published? In which year was the Shepherd's Calendar published? 1579.
9.
What is the subtitle of Pericles? Pericles.
The Prince of Tyre.
The Prince of Tyre. Who is the author of Horton Poems? Milton. I'm so proud of you. You are answering all my questions. You have studied the encyclopedia thoroughly. You have been doing a lot of work like I told you to do. I'm happy. But so many of you are silent. Why? That I'm not happy about. In which year was Total's Miscellany published?
1550.
1550? 7. Which is Milton's Nativity Ode?
Written in 1623 at the age of 23.
What is the title I'm asking?
On the arriving of age.
On arriving at the age
On
of
No. On the morning of Christ's nativity. It's about Christ, not himself. Okay? Then, in which year was Areopagitica published? 1644. Which of Milton's poems represents the principle of recta ratio? Comus. Recta ratio means right reason. Icon Basilic is supposed to be the autobiography of Charles I. What is the meaning of Icon Basilic?
image creator.
No, that is Iconoclastus. Icon Basilic.
Is image breaker.
No, that is Iconoclastus. പിന്നെ അതെന്ന് പറയാം. Icon. Will the king write an autobiography saying image breaker? Will he break his own image? What are you saying? Iconoclastus is the reply written by Milton saying image breaker. He is breaking the image of the king.
Attacking the
royal portrait.
The royal portrait. Icon means portrait. Basilic means royal. Icon basilic means royal portrait. Then, in which play does the ghost of Ignatius Loyola appear? In which play does the ghost of Ignatius Loyola appear? A Game at Chess. In which play does the ghost of Machiavelli appear? The Jew of Malta. Who is the author of Pseudodoxia Epidemica or Vulgar Errors?
John Ford.
Thomas Brown.
Thomas Brown.
Thomas Brown. The matter, form and power of a commonwealth, ecclesiastical and civil. That is a subtitle of The matter, form and power of a commonwealth, ecclesiastical and civil. That is a subtitle of Leviathan. By? Who wrote Leviathan? Thomas Hobbes. Who is the author of On the Late Massacre in Piedmont?
Milton.
Correct. That is one of Milton's sonnets. Who wrote Centuries of Meditations?
Thomas Traherne. Sorry, Traherne.
Thomas Traherne. Correct. Who is the author of the notorious erotic poem A Rapture?
Sure.
Huh?
Sure.
Are you saying the answer? Thomas Carew. Okay? I'm stopping rapid